Hello, welcome back. This is module 4. Thank you again for subscribing. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to build your gaps. And we're going to focus specifically on the finances. So in your last video, we went over the assessment or your current position. Now that you know where you're standing, I'm going to go ahead and help you build that gap that's going to connect you to that future that you aim for. So we talked about 401ks, right? So what can you really do to increase your 401ks, right? One thing, contribute more. Two, just start borrowing money against it so you can have it readily available in your savings. It's actually a very slow way to build it up. Now, talking about savings, that doesn't really differ much either. You're going to have to carve out additional money from your paycheck, maybe cut eating out, maybe cutting out on buying stuff that you will typically buy for pleasure, like a bottle of wine over the weekends or like eating out with your friends. But again, it's also slow. How much can you possibly put in? Make 100, 200, only you know your numbers. However, credit cards, this is my favorite out of all of the fundings. And why? Because there's so many ways that you can utilize that in a very creative way. And again, credit cards are not meant for you to use to buy that nice handbag, that nice pair of designer jeans, spending $200 in a dinner, eating out with friends, or drinking it away. No. You can do it when you have the money, but not when you're trying to build your portfolio and increase your net worth. Credit cards, I actually utilize credit cards in a lot of my closing. And there's so many ways you can actually milk it and get cash out of it. So to start, you need to know where you stand with your credit. What is your credit score? You're going to go ahead, if you haven't already done so, create an account at Credit Karma. So Credit Karma monitors your credit history and it's going to give you a Vantage score. So there are two types of credit score that the lenders use. One is the FICO, which most of us know, and then the other one is the Vantage score. So the FICO score is based on 3 credit bureaus. You're going to have Experian, you have TransUnion, and then you have Equifax is the other one. Sorry about that. And Vantage, I'm not sure how the breakdown of the Vantage score goes, but I think it's based on 5 bureaus. I don't remember exactly which ones, but what you need to know in this case is that Credit Karma leverage a lot of the Vantage score. But believe it or not, they're not so different from FICO. So depending on the banks, some banks utilize the FICO score, some banks leverage the Vantage score. The major difference between these two is that the Vantage score is going to be off by, I don't know, somewhat between 10 to 15 points. So let's assume an example. If you have a credit score of 620 as a Vantage score and Credit Karma, and FICO is going to be somewhere along 610 or 630. So it's pretty close. It's not going to guarantee what your score is like, but it gives you an idea of where you're standing. And I think that's more than enough. So that's it for Credit Karma. Now you know what your credit score is like, and you can do it for yourself. You can teach your friends to do it. You can teach your loved ones, family. Everyone deserves to know. Everyone should know what their credit score is without having to pay 1 cent for the service. So now, if you have credit cards, some of you are thinking, oh great, I can actually just leverage what she's teaching us and then just continue to build credit. Or you can be in a position where you're saying, oh crap, I don't have any credits. How do I get started? Don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to do that. But for now, we're going to focus on those users that have credit. If you have a credit score somewhere around 620 to 750 plus, something like that, the good news is you can actually jump this up in less than 2 weeks. And here's how you're going to do it. 1, you're going to open more credit cards. Yes, I know it sounds very counterintuitive, but you're going to open more credit cards. So the myth about credit cards is that if you inquire about a credit card application, chances are you're going to get a hard inquiry and your credit is going to go down. That is true. It's going to go down by 1 or 2 points. Big deal, right? And one trick that most people don't know is that if you open 2 to 3 credit cards in one day, the credit bureau is not going to pick up on it right away. So chances are your credit is going to go down no more than 5 points in one single day, taking an average of 2 points per card, right? So once you open those cards, initially on that same day, your credit score is going to go down by about 5 or 6 points, right? Let's just use slides for the sake of this video. I'm sure you've heard about the term credit utilizations. So most credit card companies want to see that you as a user have less than 20% debt and revolving credit. By revolving credit, I mean credit cards. So assuming that you have a total credit line of $10,000 and you currently own $2,000 out of the total $10,000, that means you already hit that 20%. If you go anything higher than this, your credit score is going to go down. But with the beauty of opening up more credit cards, let's say you go from 10 to 20,000 all in one day, but you still owe 2,000. But if you increase your total credit line from 20,000 to 2,000, the amount of debt that you're owing in your credit cards is actually going to go down to 10%. And that's going to make you look really, really good. And what do you think is going to happen to your credit score? It's actually going to go all the way up. So once you open, it's going to go down on the same day, 2 to 3 points. Give it a week or two, then your credit score is going to go all the way up by 10, 20 points, depending on the amount of credit cards you get approved on the same day. Now, remember, the trick is to open no more than 3 credit cards in one day. I actually did this by mistake and I went on a rampage and I opened like 7 in one day. And my credit card looked like a roller coasters, and a lot of the banks actually wound up calling me thinking that I actually got my identity stolen. So don't do that. You don't want to raise any suspicion of any weird behavior. Just do 3 credit cards at a time, and then every 4 to 6 months, go ahead and apply for 3 more, and that's how you're going to increase your credit line and your credit score in a very effective way. Now, the good news doesn't end there. Now I'm actually going to show you how you can actually get money out of it. So now this hack, I actually learned it by accident, not knowing what I was doing. And I actually needed my sister to do me a favor. And there's a service called Venmo. It's actually owned by PayPal, and you can download the application. Venmo is kind of like the Facebook for money. So everyone is connected to one another depending on the bank that you have. And you can actually send money, wire money instantly from one person to another. So I actually had my bank account and I had one of my credit cards recorded as part of the payments that I could leverage whenever I needed to pay somebody. And my sister actually was asking me for $300 or something to fix something that had happened in the apartment that I was renting to her. And I thought that if I sent her a check, she wasn't going to get the money right away. So I did that through Venmo. And what I did, I wired her $300 using my credit card at a small fee. I think Venmo charges 3% if I'm not mistaken. As of today, 2018, it might change by the time you watch this video. And automatically, I was able to give her $300 from a credit card, which is way better than taking a check for those cash advances for over 20%. I'd rather pay 3% versus 20-something% in a credit card. And then once I learned that trick, I started taking larger sums of money just so I could start getting more cash into my bank accounts and have it readily available for my next property to buy. With Venmo, when you set up your initial account, you have to start slow. $300, and for like a week or two maybe, and then you do multiple transactions. You can actually send the money to your spouse, a good friend that's going to give you the money back in cash. And once you've set that account and you've managed to use it quite often, I'll say within 3 weeks or so, you can actually bump up the money transfer to $3,000. you can do $3,000 a week. And if you multiply that by 4 weeks in 1 month, you can get $12,000 out of your credit card in 1 month. That's enough money for a down payment. That's enough money for a closing costs, whatever services that you will need. Let's say if you're flipping a house, buying construction materials and stuff like that, if you need to buy it cash. This is great money that you can get ahead of time. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how is it going to impact my credit? Yeah, your credit is going to go down, but I thought that the whole point of this exercise was to help you get enough cash in advance and be able to buy more real estate. And hopefully, as soon as you close, you start getting rent, and with that rent or with the flipping money, you can repay down that credit card or just simply pay down your mortgage. And if you're curious about what type of credit cards you can leverage, I will create another module and I'm going to teach you how to apply for them and how to actually get the best perks out of it through bonus points and stuff like that. So stay tuned. Now, my next favorite site is a place that's called Plastiq. So you're going to log in to Plastiq.com. And Plastiq basically works like some kind of a bank for you. They pay checks on your behalf. So what you can do, you can open an account and you're going to register your credit card, whatever number of credit cards you can have, and you're going to start scheduling or naming what they call payees, I think. And you can actually add your landlord as a payee and upload a copy of your lease, and then you can have this service pay your rent on your behalf by your credit card. So the beauty of this trick is that, let's say your rent is $1,300 a month. Instead of using the cash that you will normally use to pay for your rent, you can put that cash away into your savings account and then have your credit card pay that $1,300 in your rent while you stashing that money on the side waiting for the next deal to come. And yes, they're going to charge, I believe, 3 to 5% depending on the amount. But hey, again, don't get greedy. Don't get too focused on the 3% or the 5% that you're paying. Your ultimate goal is to save enough cash on the side so you can buy your next property. And if you watch my next module, I'm actually going to teach you how to use good credit cards that are going to help you leverage certain expenses to get those sign-up bonus points and then use that money as a cashback or use it as mileage for you to travel either on vacation or to your next destination to check out more properties. And last but not least, another quick way to make money or to raise more funds. Lenders. Now, I know dealing with lenders is not necessarily fun all the time. It requires a lot of social skills, a lot of public speaking, and for the most of us, we're not very savvy at it. Most of us prefer to stay in our comfort zone, talk to our friends, but whether you like it or not, real estate is a relationship-based business, so you're going to have to learn how to socialize with people. So ways for you to approach lenders, at least in my opinion, is to go to local RIAs. Believe it or not, local RIAs are not just for real estate investors to exchange ideas and stuff. A lot of hard money lenders attend these events, and a lot of lenders actually show up to these events. I met roughly about 4 lenders, which I still keep in touch with via email after that first interaction. So if you don't know, or if you're terrified to speak in public, you need to work on that. And there's no easy way to go about it, but I can share with you some tools and some programs that you can actually leverage. So one, use your cell phone, whether you like it or not. A lot of us love to take selfies. So instead of using your phone as a way to take selfies, use it as a way to help you grow. Put it on top of a table, closet, whatever high stand you have, and start filming yourself in the way you talk. The more you do it, the better it is. It's going to get really uncomfortable at the beginning, but believe me, you're going to thank me for it. And then if cell phones are simply not enough, you want more human interaction, you can actually go to a program that's called Toastmasters. I was actually a very shy person. And I have no problem being alone, just locking myself in my own circle. But I realized that that wasn't going to help me go anywhere. And Toastmasters actually changed my life. So they have chapters in all 50 states. All you got to do is just go online and type in the word Toastmasters. I think their website is toastmaster.com, but don't quote me on that. But if you do a Google search using this term, you're going to find that they have local chapters everywhere. They have it in local schools. They have it at your job, believe it or not. I had it at my job. And basically, the way Toastmasters work is that they have a series of modules that are going to help you build up your public speaking skills. And it's not like you're standing in front of a bunch of strangers. You're actually presenting your speech in front of other people that are in your same situation, in your same shoes. They're learning, they're petrified, they're afraid to speak in public, and you evaluate one another. You do have people at different levels. Some people are more advanced than others, but that's the whole beauty of it, right? Like you actually socialize, you network with people that have the same pain points that you have, and at the same time, you're not only building relationships, but you're also building up on your skill. And once you develop that, you can easily go to those local RIAs, interact with people, talk to them, walk them through what you're trying to do. Don't lie, just be honest. Hey, I'm a real estate investor. I'm new in the area, but I'm working in this and this and this, and this is how I managed to do my research. When I first approached those lenders, all I had to do was just to walk them through how I got my first property and what were some of the things that I consider while I was doing my search, like location, average return on my rent, cash flow, and how I plan to manage that. And the best way to sell to people is by explaining them how you're going to do things without sounding salesy. This is how I do it. And once people can visualize or at least imagine what you're trying to explain them in their head, you got that deal locked. You have that lender who's willing to give you the money. All you got to do is just to do the homework and find the next available property for you. So that's it for today in terms of finance. And my next module, I'm going to cover the best credit cards that you can leverage, that you can use. And without further ado, I'll see you then. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.